Hey guys, it is Countess, and I am back with another video for you guys. Um, this one is going to be interesting. It is, again, springing off of other things that I've spoken about in the past couple of videos I've made, and today I just kind of want to educate you guys on the principles of alchemy, the significance of alchemy in modern times, as well as its similarity to the Luciferian principles or doctrine. And it's just part of the reading I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. Just again, all of this stuff is related to each other. It's all what our reality is based off of. And so I just want to start with alchemy and what the definition of alchemy is. And so it is a Gnostic approach to spirituality. It's a way of seeking a personal relationship with the divine. It's a total transformation through purifying ourselves and letting go of whatever stands between us and freedom, moving from ignorance of our true selves to enlightenment, knowing that we are unlimited, free beings that are one with the universe and all that is around us. We are all part of God, not separate. So that kind of takes away from the whole man in the sky ideology. And it actually goes back to Crowley and the moon child. We are all made of stars. We all come from stardust. We are all one with the universe, and everything ebbs and flows as one through the universe. Therefore, that is one of the biggest pushes to get our flow of global consciousness to turn to unity, to turn to this one world order. And it is, in a sense, a state of alchemy if that happens. The old is being transformed into something new. And it just, as I was kind of digging through the other principles, one of the biggest sayings in alchemy comes from a Latin, and it is Solvay coagula. And what it means is to dissolve and coagulate. So basically, breaking down and separating whatever is there, and then bringing all of the elements back together to form a new, higher form of something. So this principle really does bring to mind the principles of the Luciferian doctrine, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. Just some other principles of alchemy, and you can kind of the whole idea is to get back to the one. So it also ties into like hermeticism. Hermeticism is an ancient Egyptian religion that was based on philosophy, science, and magic. And it holds this Presca theologia. It's a true theology that's said to be in the doctrines at the root of all religions, that the belief is in one transcendent God and that all is one in the universe. So Hermes is definitely linked to alchemy. And hence, too, you think of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And, Crowley came from that order to form his own OTO of Thelema. And a lot of Crowley's basic principles were built on the foundation of Hermetic principles. And so when you're looking at the Luciferian doctrine, I want to go over these. They're called the 11 points of power of the Luciferian principle. And this is just a quote by the author, Michael Ford. He says, after reading and pondering the 11 points, you will most likely sense if you are a Luciferian or not. The 11 points should inspire, challenge, and be an anchor for your evolving concept of self. So when we get into the meat of it all, the 11 Luciferian points of power, number 1, LuCiFer represents the light of intellect, wisdom, and power unique to each individual, with the courage to ascend this responsibility. Number 2, the symbol of the adversary is that of the self-liberator and spiritual rebel who inspires self-evolution. 3, LuCiFer represents the balanced torchbearer of Venus, the light bringer as the morning star, and the night bringer as the evening star. Number 4, the adversary symbolizes the spark of consciousness, which questions everything, manifesting the individualistic path with accountability only to the self. Number 5, the fall of LuCiFer symbolizes the liberation of the mind from the slave mentality and the courage to explore and master the darkness within. One may not offer the illumination of the morning star without the wisdom of the darkness within. Number 6, the adversary represents rebellion with purpose, wisdom, strength, and power. 7, LuCiFer represents the courage and fortitude to acquire healthy self-love, leading to the responsibility of honoring your temple of mind, body, and spirit. 8, to become your own God, you must have the wisdom and strength to govern and guide your life, as if your mind is to survive beyond the mortal body. Number 9, indulgence with restraint, love for the deserving, and disdain for those undeserving. 10, LuCiFer represents the insight that every act, no matter if perceived as selfless, is at core a selfish act. Even if helping others is your passion, the brain still receives a chemical reward triggered by the act. This is why many consider that doing good deeds in society may bring you closer to God. Recognize you are selfish, then see this fact in all others while observing. Accept this, and then with this knowledge, make choices that would benefit not only yourself, but your loved ones when possible. And 11, to become a god is to fully understand that you possess the power to create and sustain your path in life and illuminate the life of self-determined potential. So basically, these 11 points of the Luciferian principle point straight back to Solvay coagula. So by listening to our intuitive or higher calling, we break down limiting parts within us that are in the way of our transformation, which is the philosopher's stone, into a free and whole being, which is coagulation. So with the luciferian principles, you must do what they call shadow work. And again, it goes back to that alchemical notion of embracing both the negative and the positive, the light and the dark within one's spirit that creates the whole, the one. So, you're trying to break down limitations and inhibitions, or you're trying to confront your dark side. And that allows for a complete transformation into a new spiritual being or a new human being. And yes, that could be also, I guess it could go back to any sort of religion where you're quote unquote born again. But this is all about serving one's own will and recognizing that the good and the bad form the one. So it's a journey of death, rebirth, and transformation. And there are 4 levels of alchemy. The negredo, which is the blackening symbolic of death. Albuedo, which is whitening, which is symbolic of the soul rebirth. Citrinatus, the yellowing, which is symbolic of spirit consciousness. And then rubedo, reddening, which is symbolic of spiritual liberation. So there is a lot of different there's a lot of different concepts of duality at play here. And it is, again, concepts that are rooted in the notion of duality, male and female, the sun and the moon, mercury and sulfur, and it is the philosopher's stone that causes the transformation. So the philosopher's stone is considered to be the 5th element. It is the macrocosm to the microcosm in the symbol of a pentagram. You have the soul, you have fire, you have water, you have air, and you have earth in the pentagram. And that hermetic philosophy of as above, so below, whatever happens in the heavens is mirrored on earth and vice versa. All of that plays into the transformation of one's soul. It is the magnum opus, the great work of alchemy. And it's not just a concept of turning base metals into gold. It is an actual metaphor for turning one's base self into a higher being, a higher spiritual being in your mortal coil. And the main principle of alchemy, along with the Luciferian doctrine, is the one. With alchemy, It's all things are made from one, and all things will return to one. One is all. By means of one, we have all within one. All things exist. And without the whole, there is no peace. So, again, with the Luciferian principles, in order to find freedom and liberation to serve one's will, one must undergo a spiritual sort of alchemy into this new whole one being of good and bad, where duality no longer exists. So again, this principle, or these principles, tie into what we've gone over with, the Hegelian dialect and its purpose. The point of the one. We want a one world government. We want a one world dictatorship state. We want to make sure that individuals, it's every man for himself. That is why we are becoming more and more isolated with the technologies in the world these days. It's to get man isolated from the community so that he is only going to think about himself, and that he is only driven by his wants and his wills, and not putting anything else or anybody else before that. It is an inversion of what humans are supposed to do and how humans are supposed to be. We are designed to be social creatures. And the more social and the more influential we are with each other, the less control those in power have over us. So, just some knowledge to keep in mind. I just wanted to kind of shed some light on these principles, because I know I have talked about it. And I also find it fascinating that there are 11 points of the Luciferian principle. And 11 is a number that stands for ultimate power. Power over everything. Command over principalities that are here on earth and in the other world. So, and that is all about the transmutation of the base self into this new, enlightened, illuminated individual who accepts themselves as a whole. So yeah, it's just, more kind of digging into these principles. And again, I just wanted to share what I have put together with my readings. I've gone over a lot of different studies from Isaac Newton, from John Dee. I've gone over the Hermetic Hermes Trismegistus, and just all of this stuff. The hermeticism and alchemy were rooted in the occult. It was hermeticism is a religion based on philosophy, science, and magic. And alchemy is a pseudoscience of natural philosophy. It is just like magic in that it studies nature. And it is just all related. And all of these principles are being applied in our reality. So the point is for you to be aware of them and to be able to see through them so you can determine the veracity of the agenda at hand. So yeah, kind of a little short summary on the subject, I guess you could say, but that doesn't make it any less important of a topic to discuss. And I think it's very relevant to everything that we have been talking about with the Luciferian doctrine and how it has affected our reality and how it will continue to affect our reality because we are in that aeon of Horus, as Crowley coined it. So anyways, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Pretty fascinating and dark stuff at the same time. So there's duality right there, right? It's very important to know these principles, but it's also very daunting to know them. But knowledge is wisdom, and wisdom is power. So more power to the people, right? All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. So I will check you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me. I am really enjoying making these videos for you guys, and hopefully I can continue to. So that is all I have for today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.